Ta-da! So this is, that's my shadow and my unsteady hand. This is one of the projects that we are going to be working on today. I want to lift it up, but I'm too scared to lift it up. So I'm going to ask my husband to jump in here. Okay, this is my friend's husband's face. I'm sure he won't mind if I say his name. We're just going to call him B. So as you can see right here, there's a little shadow. Turn it down a little. You can see in the corner here, there's a slight bit of a lip already. Basically what we did, you can actually put it right here if you want. Basically what we did is I did a dirty pour on the face, which I actually videotaped. The blue here and the blue here is the drip off or overrun, as most people call it, an overrun. Basically, that's the paint that fell off of the face because the face was setting on top of a paint can. And so we let this dry on the tablecloth, and everybody's like, why do you save the overrun? Why do you save the overrun? That's why. We took it, attached it. Is this MDF? We have a piece of MDF board that we painted with a pearlescent white. And then we took the overrun and cut it down the middle so that you have the edge. And you're going to get my overhead light in my kitchen. But can you see? Look how beautiful. You can see the colors. Anyway. So what we did was we took the overrun and we glued it to the MDF board. I love that part right there. It looks like little speckles. And that is part of the runoff as well. So anyway, we glued it down to the MDF. And then as you can see, the lip here, I did a coat of EnviroTex light epoxy over the top of it to make sure that it was one solid piece. You can tell in a couple places that it started to lift as the epoxy was drying, and so it gives it a little different texture, like even right in here. Or this one right there. That little funky line. Anyway, so the epoxy kind of got up underneath the overrun, which is okay because it just gives it a different texture. Then my husband attached the face to the board, and today I'm going to resin the face again and resin the board again. And because there's this lip, what I'm shooting for is a domed effect so that it comes down the side of the face and just kind of makes this concaved and turns this into one piece, and then it'll run off to the side and kind of have like a little domed effect on the head. So now that I've shown you what we're going to do, I'm going to pause the film, turn the camera around, and get started. I'll see you in a minute. Hello again. Okay, so we took the Lifecasting face that's attached to the board and we put it on a Lazy Susan so I could spin it, so I could not have to stand up and bend over. I just like when it spins. Isn't that just entertaining to you? Or am I just a dork? Seriously, I am a dork, but it's okay. Anyway, so the face is here. It's on a Lazy Susan so I can get in all the nooks and crannies. The lights are going to make sure I can see all the nooks and crannies to make sure that it's all full. We're going to pour it over we're going to brush it onto the face. And when we're done brushing it on the face, I'm just going to let it pool up on the resin on the bottom. So I'm going to set him off to the side. Again, we're using EnviroTex light. They got two different boxes, either or. That's what I use because that's what I have, and it works really good. At least I think it works really good. Okay. So I will also show you, hopefully the glove isn't masking it. You can see the line on the cup. I probably won't need more than that. And And simple little trick that I do just to make it easier to get the height correct. I lay the box down and I will pour it while it's a little higher, just so I can make sure that I'm getting as much as I need. So this is kind of the end of this bottle, and it is not quite going to be enough. This is part B. EnviroTex Light is a 1-to-1 ratio of part A and part B. I'm so close to that stinking line that I could just get more out of the bottle. Anyway, I'm not going to get much more out, and that's okay. Just have to remember part B to part B. I'm so close. Okay, second bottle. I'm actually going to wipe the lid off. I know a lot of people don't care to do that, but I wipe the lid off just because if I don't, you get goo inside the cap, and then it dries, and yeah, and then you're stuck not being able to open a bottle, and I don't like that. I'm going to put that off screen over there. Okay, so now I take this one and put it over here, and I'll take this one and put it right there. Don't know if you can see me, but oh, I'm strong today. And here we go. Not much in that cap. Sorry, didn't mean to completely block you from seeing my beauty. Yeah, I'm in a really good mood today. Today is a fine art day. So, I'm probably not going to get much more out of that bottle. That bottle's... Oh, I'm going to need that paper towel. I know, I'm goofy. And you are supposed to be right about there, because that's where you were the first time. Well, the other one was. This is the second bottle of part A. I didn't say that a minute ago or a second ago. It always seems to be to me that in doing this, you always tend to use more of one. Like, my part A seems to run out faster than my part B, no matter whether I measure the cup that way or if I use a scale. I don't know if it's just thinner or whatever. It just seems to me that they tend to, my part A tends to run out faster, so. Okay, I'll set that over there. Here's our mixing cup, which I don't even necessarily think I need right now. And I think I need just a smidge off. And it could just be where the cup is in ratio to, there might be a tilt or something. I think it's the fold in the paper, because I don't need any more. Okay. Box can go over here too. So, I typically, they tell you pour one into the other or pour them both into one cup. It kind of use the same cup twice. You know what? Maybe I won't this time because it's a different cup and there's ridges. So, take part A, you pour it into another cup, scrape the sides to get as much as you possibly can. This stuff is not necessarily inexpensive, so I'm kind of, I don't know, neurotic when it comes to making sure that I have as much as I can possibly get out of it. Yeah, Yeah, I'm not going to get much more. Well, maybe. I know a lot of artists don't like mixing their resin on camera because it's a lot of mixing. A lot of mixing. And it gets boring. But, nah. To me, it's entertaining, so why not? I'm not even going to use that stick just to make sure I get enough. Okay, part B. Going in. Oh, my hand is really unsteady. That's okay. Alrighty, here we go. Dun, dun, just scraping the cup. Making sure I get as much as I possibly can. I saw somebody, I watched a video last night, and a lady used a measuring cup to do her resin in, and I thought that was an amazing idea. I'm just not sure I want to, I don't know. There's always some left in the cup, and I'm so scared that I'm not going to get, you know, all of it out, or it's going to be uneven, or it's going to, you know, I don't know. Do you know? Anyway, if you don't get your ratios down and you're off, it won't cure. It'll stay tacky, and that is not a finish that you want on a piece, especially a piece that is being sold. You want to make sure to scrape your sides. I scrape the bottom of the cup. I usually do, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 stirs in one direction, and then I'll do 20, 30, 40 in the other direction. I used to, when I first started using resin, I would count. I'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I would count, and then I would switch directions, and then I decided that you guys probably did not want to hear me do that, so I decided just to kind of wing it. With EnviroTex, and this is not a sponsored video, not by any means. This is just products that I purchase for my art, my fine art, and my canvases and whatnot. This is just what I've used for a long time. Anyway, you can usually tell when you're good to start using it because it gets cloudy as you start to stir the two parts together. And when you can look in and it's pretty much clear bubbles, that's when it's time to use it. Nah. I don't know if you saw that. Wow, that was fun. Okay. So, set you to the side. We'll get him again. I think I'm going to start around his nose and his eyes, making sure my little, I have a heavy duty plastic wrap on my island so that I don't get resin on my island because it would not come off, and that's just not good. Okay, so here we go. Just pick it up with my little sponge brush and start kind of slopping it in everywhere. Slopping. Flop it everywhere. You can pretty much see where you're getting it because of the light. And when it comes to these rough edges, like, you know, the little bit of eyebrow that we got, you just go over it a little extra just to make sure that it's covered. Go in every single direction that you can. There we go. And if it starts sliding down the face, even better, because it means it's in all of the nooks and crannies. You will see as we get close up, my husband is manning the camera, well, cell phone. You will see that there are little bubbles that start to pool up in little crevices. which is perfectly fine because we're going to use some flame. We're going to use a torch, and the heat will bring the bubbles to the surface and pop them. Just need to make sure I get in all of the little crannies. He has crannies on his face. Does that sound creepy to anybody else but me? I mean, it kind of sounds odd, I guess. Okay, so now I'm literally just kind of brushing the sides. Got the top pretty well covered, so now I'm just literally brushing the sides to make sure that I get epoxy. It is an epoxy resin, so just make sure it gets everywhere's covered. And like I said, when it drips down, I'm not even going to brush on it because I want it to drip down. I want it to create that kind of concave effect when it hits the board so that it attaches. I mean, I'll get it a little bit. Kind of ignoring the other side of the face for a few moments. Almost done on this whole side. Yay! I get really excited playing with resin. I want to say, yeah, playing. Because to a certain degree, this is my play. I like to play with resin. I like to create things with resin. All right, let's get this side. Just kind of let it flow down. I think you guys can see, I'm pretty sure that you can see by now where it's attaching and kind of making that little concave where the where the casting, the life cast meets the board. So I'm at a point now, I'm done with the face. Let me just give it a good tip right there. You can usually tell if it's not sitting somewhere, if it's not like adhering, because it'll oh, that scared me. It'll be a different color under the lights. And I think we are good. So now what I'm gonna do is wipe that off again. And again, you can see that, I don't know how well you can see the air bubbles in there. There is air bubbles right on the edge of the cup, all over the cup. So basically, that's okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna, wow, not very steady with this, but I'm just gonna let it all fall out of the cup. It is self-leveling. I may actually decide to add some more to this. I'm not 100% sure yet, but let's again scrape the cup, get as much out as we can. That's quite a bit in that corner, so let's move to this corner. Because I'm going to end up brushing it across the board anyway. Okay, here we go. Probably not going to get much more out of that cup. So, I'm going to use a different paper towel just because. Now, I know that you can see it pooling down here. And it moves really slow, so I'm not sure you're going to be able to see the movement. But what I'm going to do now is just take, and this is a silicone, like a pastry brush that I got from, I think it was Ace Hardware. Dollar store. I think this one was from Ace Hardware the other day, but either way, whatever.
Okay.
I'm just going to start getting the extra resin and moving it to the side, kind of scraping the bristles or teeth or whatever on the brush right up against the lip that's already on here. And doing that, it's going to, you know, kind of help the resin move. And it knows it's already supposed to go to the side. So just in case my Lazy Susan is not 100% level, it will be all right. I may have just brushed on the outside of the lip, but you don't want to take it all. You just kind of want to brush it around so that it covers. And because of this lighting, I can tell, well, you can tell, I'm sure, where it's at and where it isn't, where it's been brushed over, and you can definitely see a difference. So and you can go over it a couple times, you know, whatever works best for you. I tend to go over it once and let it sit for a couple seconds and then go look at it again and make sure I've got coverage everywhere. I'm almost to that point where it's been covered everywhere once. And if I decide I don't like, you know, if I want more resin on it, I can always mix some more and add it to it because the resin will stick to itself. I did, however, just go right off the edge, and I do not want that, so I can just wipe it right off. Da. Okay. I think that is good. More go. And again, drips don't really matter because it'll level itself out. Just want to make sure I've got it where it's needed. I'm going to look over the face again. And I got a spot right there that it did not adhere very well to, right there on the edge of the beard. Otherwise, I think it's good. So with my resin brush, now that the silicone brush, it's coated with resin, I will literally just take it and put it off to the side onto well, I'll probably hang it off the cup over here, because what that'll do is it'll let it dry. And as soon as it's dry, it'll just peel right off. Now, what we have to do is pop all our little air bubbles. So I'm just going to scooch it back just a tad, because you don't want to be too close to your piece with the heat. Oh, those are air bubbles. Okay. Hi, how you doing? Sorry, you took a little tumble. Just making sure that it's not got any places that look like the resin kind of fell off, I guess, is okay. Fire. Nah. And when you're using a torch, you kind of want to put your hand, I don't even know if you can see my hands, but you want to get to where you can just start to feel the warmth. That's how far away from the piece you want to be. The warmth is you're just kind of encouraging the air bubbles to come to the surface so that they'll pop, because you don't want air bubbles in your piece. And when it comes to the pooling around where the head is meeting the board, I just really quickly I get closer, but it's a very quick swipe just because those bubbles get a little deeper. And I wish there was a way to show you guys what it looked like popping the bubbles. I'm going to attempt to show you that you can just see the pattern of the heat come over, and it just literally I don't want to move it too much, but I just want to make sure all of the bubbles are out of there. And you can usually see the bubbles. It looks like there might be a few in there, so you just kind of... And I usually go over it once or twice, just to be sure, because the bubbles will start to rise because of the heat. And then you let it set for a little bit, and then they'll rise again. Just going to go right over that, the pooling and the... There we go. And I didn't do his beard very well, but that's okay. It'll give part of the texture if there's a bubble or two. You don't want to heat the resin too much. If you heat it too much, it'll tend to kind of warm it up too much, and then it just becomes more, I don't know, malleable is the right word. It'll move. It'll just run off of it, and that's not the effect that you want, I'm sure. Okay, so we're done with the torch. I think we are done with Bee's face. We're still going to have a lip, so I may end up adding more because I kind of want a doming effect here on the bottom. So I'll let this cure. I'm going to set it on the table. We'll put something over it so that the dust... Oh, I do have yuck on my gloves. Anyway, we'll cover it with something that's tall enough and wide enough that it doesn't touch it, and we'll let it set for, I don't know, I'll usually check it in about a half an hour and just see if there's any more bubbles that came up to the surface. If there are, I'll pop them, and then I let it set. I'll probably let it set about 6 to 8 hours, and then check it. I may decide to add another coat of resin just on the board so that we get that doming effect. This is going to go in a frame, so I don't know if it'll matter if it has a doming effect. However, this is what we've got. And when it's finished, it will look like glass. It's going to look absolutely beautiful. I am loving this. I think this is the first time we've done this effect. I mean, I've done a dirty pour on top of a sculpture, but we've never used the overflow before on a piece as well as doing a dirty pour. So I think this is a beautiful effect. And that is it for this video. We're going to set it aside. We'll let it dry, and we will take some pictures, or we'll come back with another video and add some more resin. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more. Comment below, tell me what would you like to see next, if you'd like to see anything next. Other than that, remember, life is art. Bye. Hello. Okay. Sorry, I had to do that one. So my husband and I are working on another video, at least another part to a video. And we decided after we did the dirty pour on the face cast, and then we attached the overrun onto a board, and then we resined over the top of that, and then earlier today we resined over the top of the face and the board to make them one piece. We decided we wanted to take this a little bit further and let you see a little bit more of the other side of the project. So what we're going to do now is my husband is getting ready to spray paint the frame that the board with the face on it is going to go to make this a finished piece. So give me 1 second, I'll turn the camera around, and I'll be right back with you. And we're back, and he has already started. As you can tell, there is a gray primer that is already down on the frame. And right now, he is spraying. a metallic glitter blue. Is it a blue glitter? Yeah, it's a blue glitter paint. I'm not sure the lighting is going to be great for you. Wow. Let's see if I can get a little bit of the detail. It's going to have a glitter effect when it's finished that is going to be amazing. And then we've got another part to the other side of the video that we're going to be doing another resin pour with this project. However, the resin pour is going to be on the frame. So you may see this part of the video today. You may see it later. I'm not sure. It depends on how it, you know, whatever I decide to do. So, yeah. And it's getting a little bit darker. Keep spraying where I'm going. So, here we go. He's going to finish spraying that, and I am going to move around the frame, I guess, so that I'm not in his way. Dun, 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 dun. You might be able to see. There it goes. Can you see the glitter effect? I'm not sure it's going to focus. Let me do that and see if it's... There we go. Oh, that just came right at me. Anyway, it's got light blues and dark blues in it. And we actually got this frame from an antique shop. And so we saw it and said, yes, that's what we need to do. It's going to be oh, sorry, pardon me. Toes! They're mine. Anyway, we decided when we saw it in the antique shop that it needed to be the frame that this face goes into. And so I think that's it for spray painting it. We'll give it a little bit to dry, and then we'll bring it inside and show you what it looks like.